The crossover is off and running. A unique edition of the crossover because Bianchi is elsewhere and his younger, more lucid co-host occupies his chair. Kelly Velez, the smooth operator. Always a pleasure when we get a chance to chop it up.
Man, it feels good as always. Like you said, lucid. We're feeling fine. And we've been with Stephon, man. Stephon's been with us. Obviously, you guys know Stephon so well, so much that we've rebranded the show so far. Unc and Neff. That's what the show is, all right? When the uncle and the nephew get together, it's a good time. So, Krabs, it's always a good time to be with you as well, my friend.
Yeah, love me the people's champ. So he's always willing to step in and keep our shows sounding decent. We appreciate that. I was listening the other day to a great conversation that you two were having, and you were talking about the last second shot. Who do you want taking it in the NBA? And I believe you specifically framed this question around what we saw previously in the Western Conference Finals. The Timberwolves have been ousted, but it was SGA or Ant. Before I officially ask my question, am I right about that being those being the options? Was it those two, or was it the Eastern?
Those two, in addition to the Easterns as well. So Tyrese Halliburton, Jalen Brunson, SGA, or Ant.
Okay, so I'm going to expand your question to the entire NBA. So now you have everybody in the league to choose from. The clock is winding down. 5, 4, 3. Who do you want taking that last shot as the buzzer is about to sound? And you can pick from anybody, including those 4 players.
Wardell. There's no conversation to be had with Steph Curry, man. Like what Steph Curry is able to do still to this point in his career, still box office, still clutch, still big shot ability. As soon as he crosses half court, he's a liability. Even before half court, he still got it. So he's done it so many times, and I'm a big numbers guy, and the numbers will say most likely that Steph will be that guy to get it for you.
I don't even know how you could look another way. I was almost waiting for you to just pick any other name so I could tell you how wrong you are, but it is clearly Steph Curry at this stage. I miss watching him play. This time of year, we think we got so used to it, seeing Steph Curry out there dominating in the playoffs, hitting these big, unbelievable shots. Like, how is this guy this cool, calm, and collected? And he has the ability to knock down these circus shots in the most high-pressure situations. It created so much fun basketball. Not that what we're seeing right now isn't, but I just miss watching Steph play. So glad that we're still giving him his flowers.
Yeah, now it's like, in these series where we're seeing kind of like a passing of the guard, we have brand new superstars who are being elevated into that position. And a lot of people who aren't tuned into the NBA want the LeBrons. They want the Stephs there. But I'm like, you know what? Look at it as you're seeing the new age of superstar who will be here once they leave. And these guys are going to be here just as long as Braun, Steph, KD, and all these guys. So I try to like temper what they say by saying, you're seeing the beginning of something new. It's okay. We don't got the Steph Curry big shots anymore, but you definitely still got these Tyrese Halliburtons who are going crazy, and the SGA scoring 40-point triple doubles damn near.
And I just wish they were given some resistance. Like, what they're doing is incredible, but it feels like they're not meeting resistance at this point. And I mean, at least the Pacers have run through the Knicks. The Thunder ran through the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I think that is where I just wish that these conference finals were a little bit more competitive, so that we did see that. I'm okay with Ant losing. That's going to happen. Not everybody can win. You're only going to have 2 teams in the finals, so there's going to be failures along the way. But I'm all for let's usher in the new era of the NBA, but the new era, it's like you get to the doorstep and then crumble. Anthony Edwards was awful in the last 2 games.
And it's trash on his part, obviously, because we know what he can do. But I keep on thinking about it. It's like, yes, it's disappointing, but I think it's more of a credit to OKC's defense specifically because, I spoke about this before where there's literally 2 minutes into the game the other night, and it's 3-3 is a score. And Lou Dort is full court pressing Anthony Edwards. He has to change directions 3 times before he even gets to half court. Like, this is the sort of defense they've been playing on him, bogging him down. So once it comes to that third, fourth quarter, you can see it. Before I was like, he doesn't want to play. But now I'm like, maybe he's just really, really tired because going through Lou Dort, going through like an Alex Caruso, Jalen Williams, even Shea, all these guys are such incredible defenders. And at first, where it's like, yeah, you're not getting the offense, but also I feel like you should look at what the defense is doing to limit it. So I think it's more of a credit to OKC's defense as opposed to Anthony Edwards not getting it off because he's a superstar, or he should.
You're not 100% wrong. OKC's defense was lights out. I still think that great offense will always trump great defense, not team wide, but player wise. Like you can't shut the water off on great players in the NBA, and that's not a new thing. That goes all the way back to the 80s and 90s as well. All right, hit me with something. What you got?
So I know the flow of the crossover, but I just have a few mini questions to roll into this one. You ready?
Okay.
What is your opinion on bowl games?
I think that they are fading into oblivion. I could kind of take them or leave them at this point. And
Okay.
I think college football fans are just, to me, it's background TV. It's wallpaper on a cell phone. That's all it is.
Because we were speaking just about the tradition of bowl games, and Greg Sankey the other day at their meetings over in Destin speaking on just trying to preserve the tradition of the bowl game, which I agree with, but it's just the current state of it, right? The reason you feel like it's just wallpaper in the background is because of mostly because of where we're at, whether it's transfer portal, all these sort of things, right? So even right now, are they even worth saving these bowl games, Kravs?
I think there's still enough money in them with sponsorships and with the inventory that they are allotted on TV. Like I imagine that they are still able to sell ad space within these games. So while it's not as important to the players, you see opt-outs left and right. That really started to become a popular trend in the McCaffrey, Leonard Fournette days. And I think that was like 2017 is when that really started to pop off. So it doesn't mean as much to the players. It doesn't mean as much to the coaches. It definitely doesn't mean as much to the fans, but we're just starving for football that time of year. Like I think it's just it's become part of the annual schedule that we have bowl games on. And it almost doesn't even matter if they're good. It's holiday season equals bowl games. And I think because it's become a part of Americana, we just sort of accept that it's not good. It's kind of like I always love using food analogies. It's a little bit like buffets. Like buffets are not as good as they used to be, but it's part of American culture. They're not going away. They're just not as good as they used to be. And to me, bowl games kind of fall in that same line. I'm sure there are other good examples like movie theaters. Yeah, there you go. Text question today, 50857 thinks it used to be good. They're not anymore, but we use them anyway.
That's perfect. Now, another mini question to go off of that, because I do agree 100%. Just where they're at right now, it doesn't make sense for me to save them. So obviously, you're going to have to move some things around to make them something. So what about Daniel's idea? If I remember correctly, Daniel's idea is moving the timing of the bowl game. So it'll be like right after Labor Day, beginning of the season, have more matchups with teams we don't normally see in these bowl games. I feel like that would be a great way to just add some spice, man. Change some things up and bring back or keep the tradition while refreshing it. What do you think?
Absolutely. And I think in a lot of ways, we kind of already see that. They're just not officially labeled as bowl games, but if you look at the matchups, like I have the week 1 schedule sitting in front of me. You have LSU and Clemson. Those are non-conference opponents. Notre Dame and Miami, TCU, UNC, Alabama, FSU, Georgia Tech, Colorado. Those all sound like bowl games to me. These are not conference matchups. These are not typical rivalries. Those are essentially bowl games. So I love the idea, but in some ways we're already doing that. So if you're going to eliminate it, just eliminate it. They're going to continue to expand this playoff. That's all people care about. And perhaps you just give everybody else the time off. Let me wrap with one more question, and we'll get out of here. This week, I released my official wrestling theme song, Mount Rushmore. I believe you are familiar with some of the classic tunes that wrestlers have come out to over the years. My Mount Rushmore was met with much criticism. I had Stone Cold Steve Austin on there, Hulk Hogan, and this is all because of the passing of Rick Derringer, who sang Real American. That's sort of like the to me, that was the introduction to entrance music being a big deal. Guys had it before Hogan, but it wasn't really a big deal until him. So he kind of got that George Washington treatment on my mountain. Triple H and the Ultimate Warrior. So that was my Mount Rushmore. Now, I'm not going to ask you to come up with a Mount Rushmore on the fly like this, unprepped, but if you had to nominate a GOAT of wrestling theme songs, what would you roll with?
That's difficult. I mean, I don't want to sound like that guy, but the Stone Cold, man, as soon as you hit that glass break and like the original, what is that? Jim Johnson, I believe, the original one.
Yes.
Like, you know how they revamp things. Real quick, the Triple H one that you speak on, do you speak on like early going into the game Triple H? Or are we talking about like Motorhead? Which one are you talking about?
Motorhead. I actually, on a personal level, as far as a song goes, I actually like the original Triple H theme song better. But as far as the iconic entrance, that really didn't take hold until Motorhead. And that's also a fantastic song. So that one, I think that one, because of the presentation of it, is what landed on the Mount Rushmore. The Ultimate Warrior's theme song is so good, it literally made his character awesome. The Ultimate Warrior, if you take the music away, is actually not, it's just sort of a shell. It's just like a muscular guy with paint on. There wasn't a lot going on there. And then Stone Cold, you just mentioned, like, it needs no explanation. And then Hulk Hogan was for historical. People were slamming me for not having the Undertaker gong on there.
Yeah, but for me, true, by the way, audience, I understand why you feel that way. But when I think of like music, wrestling music, it's something that gets you hype. The gong gets you hype. Don't get me wrong, because you know what's going on. Yes. But I didn't automatically think of the Undertaker's gong. So I'll give you that, Kravs, though I do understand where they're coming from.
That right there, my friends. A different but unique version.
Wait, quick question.
Oh, okay. All right.
Could I say it? Could I say it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I said, how rude of me to have a new guest on the crossover and not tee this one up to you. So, like Paul Skeens, I'm going to stand on the mound all confident and ready to throw heaters, and I'm going to pitch this to you. Go ahead.
The crossover is over.